this past season of minor league baseball is looking at, we're going to go through each system and look at the title teams, what they're doing great as an organization, maybe prospects that are involved, what kind of stands out about it. And the team that we are spotlighting this week, Cory, is the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, who won the entire AAA championship, taking down the Las Vegas Aviators, the A's AAA team, in the championship game after winning the International League. So just kind of taking a look a bit. I know Cory has some information as well on there on how they performed. They were the best team in AAA in terms of ERA. They were excellent on the pitching staff. A 3.71 team ERA. The next closest was the Durham Bulls and Nashville as well. The two other teams that had a sub-4 ERA as a team. They have 3 players in the top 100, including the number 22 prospect in the game in Thomas White, a dynamic left-handed pitcher who finished the year with a 2.31 ERA and held opponents to a 1.11 batting average in the AAA level, one of the top-rated left-handed pitchers in the entire minor league. So when you have that guy really leading the charge, that's going to bode well, and especially when they were in the bottom third in a lot of offensive statistics, like average, OPS, hits as well. So really struggled in that department, but shut down everyone else. So a lot of 1-0, 2-0 victories, top 5 in strikeouts, tied for top in the AAA in saves. Interesting note as well, which I found this very interesting looking into their stats and performance. They led the AAA in intentional walks. So maybe a strategy for teams. They had 21 intentional walks. There was another, I believe it was Durham, who had 16 as well. They were the only 2 teams that had over 10. So, hey, just put on the best hitter and we'll strike out everyone else or shut down everyone else. So maybe the strategy, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp revolutionizing it at the AAA level.
That's very interesting because I feel like whenever that happens in the big leagues, people are like, oh, you just gave up a free 90 feet. There's a couple guys like a Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, where you go, okay, that's it. Leading AAA in intentional walks, not having a great offense at times, and then shutting people down. A lot of 3-2, 2-1, 1-0 ball game scenarios, right? That's very good news because the Big League Ball Club, they showed some promise. They hung around 500, did a lot better than I think people expected. Kyle Stowers on the offensive end had a really, really nice year. Broke out, finished out at 79-83. The team earned run average, and this is why I think it's good news that AAA is doing very well on the mound in Jacksonville with the Jumbo Shrimp. Shout out Scott Kornberg. Earned run average is 4.6. That's 25th in Major League Baseball. So not only is there some top prospect talent on the mound for Miami, but they're in the top level. Like these are not, our third best prospect happens to be a pitcher, just got out of rookie ball. Maybe we'll see him in a couple of years. These are guys that could very well be debuting by opening day, or in the first couple of months, by June 1st. So that's a really exciting thought. You kind of dive in further and look at what the Marlins bring to the table from a pitching perspective. Sandy Alcantara was the only Marlins pitcher to log 150 innings or more last season. The back end of the rotation was patchwork at times. So when you have a team that's looking for pitching, you've got a bat in Kyle Stowers and a couple of other guys who are starting to find their own. You could trade for it, you could spend in free agency, or in this case, you can look over in Jacksonville, Florida, not far from your home base in Miami, where nobody had better pitching at that respective level than your affiliate. And they were putting guys on base in the form of an intentional walk, which you just told me, which is nuts, at a higher rate than anybody. I mean, think about that. The amount of times a runner might be in scoring position, and then you fill someone out on first, and you're saying, all right, runners on first and second, I think it's more likely we get a ground ball or a strikeout than someone roping it down the line, and now a 1-run double turns into a 2-run double. For context, about 60 guys in Major League Baseball had 150 innings pitched last year. So you're expecting to have 2. The Marlins had 1. That's one of many different examples where you look up and down and you go, who is going to be going wire to wire for us? Who do I know will be available during opening week, but will still have the stamina in their left or right arm come August, come September? And this is a Marlins team that was in the playoff picture the last couple of weeks, right? To say that they are far away, it's not really a true statement anymore. Now, their division is very competitive, but I think anytime you have a team that's flirting with 80 wins and you can see the prospect pipeline in AAA marinating to the point where they're beating everybody else at their level, I mean, think about that, right? Guys who get drafted don't see the big leagues at a very high rate, but as you elevate, you get to high A, double A, triple A, more and more of those guys have or will see big league ball, and these guys are beating their peers at a better clip than anybody else in the pitcher versus hitter dynamic. So this gets me really excited for the Marlins in 2026, and especially in 2026 in terms of finding ways to supplement Sandy, who has also been brought up in trade discussions, but the Marlins were a little better than a lot of us, I think, thought. If you can get a solid 2, a solid 3, a solid 4, and just have the same 4, 5, or 6 guys out there at any given moment that you know we can ride with these dudes for a few weeks, that starts here. I think that starts in Jacksonville, and really good nugget on the intentional walks, because the fact that they were willingly putting more guys on base and still finding ways to get outs in spite of an offense that couldn't always generate runs, that's really, really impressive. And boy, if there's a team out there that needs pitching depth, it's the Miami Marlins right now.
Yeah, especially you mentioned Sandy, but Edward Cabrera is another name that teams are floating around, kicking the tires on. So, I mean, when you have the willingness for them to be, we're willing to, hear offers for this guy at the big league level. When we have this kind of depth, when we have a handful of these starters really performing at a high level in AAA, and they're in that developmental stage where you want to get guys reps the big league level. Find a pitcher like a Kyle Stowers version where they kind of break onto the scene. You have that cornerstone starter or reliever. So yeah, it's great news, and really capping off an NL East episode with the Phillies, the Mets, and then the Marlins AAA system doing wonders and winning the whole thing in the AAA system.